Hello everyone! I've got another wild story for you today. This one is a bit shorter due to how fast the situation unfolded and was abruptly ended. It's not as heavy as the Joe Metheny video either. With that being said, let's dive right in. On June 7, 2017, around 2:49 p.m., officers were called for an armed robbery in progress on Dundalk Avenue near Avon Beach Road, in Baltimore County, Maryland. They received information that a man had robbed two people at gunpoint. According to MTA video footage, Blaine Robert Erb got on a bus at Belclair Road and Dundalk Avenue, near the Logan Village Shopping Center in Dundalk, Maryland, at 2:53 p.m. Shortly after that, two police officers stopped the bus and got on to talk to Erb, and that's when he pulled a gun and fired a shot at an officer standing at the rear exit. Erb then told everyone to get off the bus. Erb is then seen in the video with two guns standing in the rear exit, firing in all directions. That goes on for about a minute and a half, at which point he stopped and reloaded. At one point, he walked to the front of the bus and fired shots as police fired back. They had surrounded the bus by then, and Erb eventually made a run for it once he realized he was cornered. Meanwhile, outside, a police body camera captured the tense moments. One officer switched from a shotgun to a pistol. Erb would eventually go down on a nearby lawn. The officer runs closer, but Erb did not listen to the police. "Drop the gun! Drop the gun!" can be heard in the video. Erb was killed and the gun battle was finally over. During the confrontation, Officer First Class Slocum, a 13-year veteran assigned to Precinct 12 in Dundalk, was shot twice in the leg and was rushed to shock trauma in critical condition, but survived and was released from the hospital a few days later. A 21-year-old civilian of the 5000 block of Queensberry Avenue in Baltimore also suffered a non-life-threatening gunshot wound to their lower body and was subsequently released from the hospital a couple of days later. Two .40 caliber semi-automatic handguns were located next to Erb's body, as well as numerous gun magazines and ammunition. The guns weren't reported stolen, but detectives still investigated the last known registered owner. Erb was prohibited from owning or possessing firearms due to a prior armed robbery conviction. He had a lengthy criminal history in Maryland and neighboring states, and had charges for robbery, assault, weapon violations, theft, and had an open warrant in Pennsylvania. At least 5 civilians were on the bus at the time of the incident. 4 officers fired at the suspect and were placed on routine administrative leave. Their names were not released at that time.
According to MTA bus video obtained by 11 News, Blaine Robert Erb gets on a bus in Dundalk at 2:53 p.m. on June 7th. Police say moments earlier he became a suspect in the armed robbery of 2 people in a nearby shopping center. Just after that, 2 police officers stop the bus and get on to talk to Erb. That's when Erb pulls a gun and fires a shot at an officer standing at the rear exit. He then tells everyone to get off the bus. Erb is then seen with 2 guns, standing in the rear exit, firing in all directions. This goes on for about a minute and a half, where he could stop and reload. At one point, he walks to the front of the bus and fires some shots, and police fire back. Erb eventually makes a run for it. Meanwhile, outside, a police body camera captures the tense moments. This officer switches from a shotgun to a pistol.
42, suspects down. Shoot your head!
Erb goes down in a nearby lawn. The officer runs closer, but Erb does not listen to police.
Drop the gun right now! Drop the gun! All right.
Erb is killed, and the gun battle is over. Baltimore County's state's attorney says thanks to several video sources, including police, MTA, and social media, they were able to speed up the investigation process. As he says, there was overwhelming evidence that the shooting was justified and no further action would be taken.
And honestly, I was shocked. I have, in all my years, never seen an individual shooting out of 2 guns at the same time at police in different directions.
Now, 2 women ended up getting shot in this particular case. One of them, a Baltimore County police officer. We are told both of these victims will recover just fine. In the meantime, one final note, state's attorney tells me after looking at that video, he feels it's truly amazing that nobody was killed except for the suspect. We're live in Baltimore County in Towson tonight. I'm Lowell Melser, WBAL, TV 11 News.
We now know the names of the 4 officers involved in that deadly shootout earlier this week in Dundalk. Officer First Class Carver, Leary, Mitten, and a 17-year veteran in the police department got involved in that shootout with an armed robbery suspect, Blaine Erb. Baltimore County Police didn't release the name of that 4th officer, citing that officer's current duty assignment. Officer First Class Slocum, who was a 13-year veteran, was shot in her leg and she remains in serious condition tonight. Erb is accused of robbing 2 people at gunpoint near the Logan Village Shopping Center before getting onto a bus in an effort trying to get away. Officers surrounded the bus. That's when there was a shootout. Erb was pronounced dead at the scene.
I remember being at work when this happened. All of a sudden, the news was reporting on an armed gunman shooting at police from an MTA bus. The standoff was ended quickly, but it seemed like an eternity. I grew up in that part of Dundalk, and that day is one I will never forget. Hopefully, you found this video informative at the very least. It certainly hit close to home for me. And as usual, if you're a fan of urban legends, folklore, unsolved mysteries, cold cases, and all things mysterious, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.